and scatter. Words form a bond and they endlessly chain us. Kindness that matters. Voices arise and the flow never falter. Building a space where the ties last forever. Chat is the place where respect doesn't alter, holding us clever. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power. Threads of goodwill through the storms that unite us. Hope we devour. Here in this space, every heart finds its meaning. Words weave a net where the world feels much kinder. Chat is the pulse, every moment redeeming, binding reminder. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power. Threads of goodwill through the storms that unite us. Hope we devour. Quiet nights and the storms full of thunder. Chat holds the light, every word a new tether. Strength in the love that connects us, no sunder, lifting together. Hats off to Chat for the joy in your giving. Every kind soul brings a world that feels brighter. May these connections endure while we're living, bond growing tighter. Hats off to Chat for the joy in your giving. Every kind soul brings a world that feels brighter. May these connections endure while we're living, bond growing tighter. To Chat for the hearts that sustain us, bringing the love where the waves crash and scatter. Words form a bond and they endlessly chain us. Kindness that matters. Voices arise and the flow never falter. Building a space where the ties last forever. Chat is the place where respect doesn't alter, holding us clever. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its...
Hi, how are you guys? Indigo, it is so good to see you. Fuzzy, my dear, welcome. Lupita, you win first in. So I need to know if you want salad or pizza. Salad or pizza, Lupita? Which one? Indigo, honey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you around for a while. My goodness. For a second, Lupita, I was like, I asked if you wanted pizza or salad, and I got fuzzy as a response. I know what you mean now. You were just saying hi to Fuzzy. Salad. Okay, salad it is. There you go. It's a lovely still life with salad and lily of the valley and tomatoes and onions and cucumbers, I think. And I'm not sure what the little red square things are because they don't look like bits of tomato. Lupita, you'll have to send me an email. Um, my phone is going nuts, y'all. Not my phone, my watch. You have a doctor's appointment tomorrow? Well, good luck at your doctor's appointment tomorrow, Indigo. I hope that it goes really, really well. I don't think I told you guys I had my annual physical. Red bell peppers. That's what they are, Lupita. You are absolutely, probably 100% correct. Red bell peppers. I should have known that. They look like they want to be little bits of ham, but they're the wrong color to be ham, and it's a vegetable salad, not a chef salad. So it looks lovely though. It's a lovely still life with salad. So I had my annual physical a few weeks ago and everything came back just fine. We've got somebody down here who wants to see y'all. Hold on just a second. I'll be right back. Come here. Look at what's got me. He's holding me down. I don't know what to do. I can't escape. The licking. Oh, the licking. Oh, the licking. It's for your physical, but also a check for meds renewal. You need to renew all the things. Yeah, I have an appointment with my prescriber. Sophia, did I see you walk in the door? Girl, it is good to see you, my dear. Thank you for stopping by. I was just thinking about you this afternoon, Sophia. You too, Indigo. Just thinking about folks that I hadn't seen for a while. Yeah, the face licking. The face licking. Hey, Kristen. I haven't had a chance to respond again. It's been a difficult few days for me, guys, and I'm not entirely sure why. He is being adorbs. I'm not sure this is the most becoming image of me online, but hey, you know, real life and all. This is real reality TV. I thought that my prescriber appointment was for tomorrow. Fine aged liquor, indeed, Adam. He is that. He is that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Were you in your crate all day? Because I was at work. Is that the problem? You need scritches? Hmm? Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Yes. Yes. Oh, oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's something else, isn't it? Oh my. Oh my. Are you guys getting all of this? Oh my goodness. Okay. Did I see Susan walk in? You do occasionally sleep at 3 a.m.? Yes, Sophia, I know. I do miss you though when you're not here. You are allowed to sleep. It's always good to see Adam's jokes in the chat. And that said, oh, I know an actual linguist. Got it. I hear you. Cutie paws always make a good picture. Orion is losing his mind. Yes, he was in his crate all day, weren't you, buddy? You poor thing. Oh, Fuzzy, you already made it. You already made it. So what was I talking about? I was talking about something. It's been a difficult, oh, so I thought I had my appointment today online with my prescriber, and I showed up and I tried to get I asked to be admitted to the online meeting and I got booted out 3 times. At which point I went back and checked the time and the place, and well, I checked the time and it's for tomorrow at that time. So that's fine and great. I can do tomorrow at that time, not a problem. I'll do that. And then I got an email this afternoon that says it's tomorrow at that time in person. So I've got to meet my prescriber in person tomorrow because apparently he wants to see my face in real life once a week. Top Chat sells bootleg DVDs to obsolete technology collectors. We watched this cute little movie on Netflix last night. It was a little sci-fi flick. Now I'm going to need to get the name. The Electric State. It's called The Electric State. No, 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 not forced in person weekly, just once a year. Once a year, he has to see me in person. And I remember now making that appointment last time. I remember making that appointment and discussing that it would be in person. I remember it in detail. I just forgot in the interim. So it's fine. Your meds are controlled substances, so they want to see you in person while they work on dosage and all that fun stuff. Yeah, mine are controlled substances too. It's just my dosages have been stable. My provider needs makeup tips. Oh, Lupita, you're so sweet. So it's fine. The appointment's for 11:30. Class gets out at 10 to 11. Oh, good news, y'all. Y'all remember how my lift that puts my chair in and out of the car, my lift was busted. The electric state. Hey, you citizens. Yeah, something like that, Adam. It kind of was something like that. Forgetters of things unite. Exactly. So I want to come back to the electric state, so don't let me forget that. My lift. So my lift was busted, and it's old enough that there's no more service on it. They will not sell the parts. So that means it just goes, they have to replace it, and I'd have to buy a whole new one. You're impressed about the level of digitization? On whose part, Sophia? So it was going to be $6,000 to put a whole new lift in when all the mechanical pieces worked fine. It was a circuit board error, apparently. It wouldn't work, wouldn't come out, wouldn't come out. So they finally pulled everything out to take a look at it, because what we decided was my child number 3 is not an electrical engineer, but is doing electrical engineering in school. And so they and my husband figured they could hotwire the lift. And they did sort of hotwire the lift. They did just were testing it and had everything disconnected and decided to try and bypass the circuit board and put 12 volts directly into the motor, and that it needed electric shock therapy. So it now works like a charm, which is excellent because I don't need to do the $5,000 lift replacement that was probably going to wait. Probably going to wait. So that's really good. Oh, being able to do doctor's appointments digitally is not a standard there? Really, Sophia? Even I mean, the laws were much more strict about this. Everybody was much more strict about this before. Adam, I don't think this wasn't near as common before the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, this was not allowed. This has all happened since the pandemic. Living in a Starsky and Hutch episode with all that hot wiring. Yeah, well, $6,000 the piece. Everything mechanical about this lift works fine. There's nothing wrong with it mechanically. We weren't sure if it was the electrical motor or the circuit board. Well, I don't know. Clearly something got disconnected somewhere and it just stopped working. And I think it stopped working about the time that I drained the battery down to nubbins this winter. Yeah, I've been lifting it in and out of the car for a while. I am so glad to have the lift and be able to make it work again. It is such a difference, y'all, not having to lift that thing in and out and assemble it. It's been at least 3 months of doing that. And to think it was just a simple fix. Oh my goodness. Well, now we know if I drain the battery down to nubbins and the lift stops working, to try and give it an electric shock before we do anything else. Bubba wants to sleep here on my lap. We still used a fax machine in government offices to transmit information during the big C. Digitization is not a common core, not a German core competency. Interesting, Sophia. Interesting. It's all of this digitization has only happened. I mean, I do so much of my appointments are remote. People just got accustomed to it, I think. Although my professor this quarter, when I asked if I could Zoom into class, he mentioned that classes had been traumatic for him during COVID. So he's not keen on Zooming. Before Cooties 19, in person was the norm. Now, with first lockdowns in 2020, they opened up interim treatment to telemed or text for stable patients. Yes. Yes, it made a huge difference. It made a huge difference. But they do have to lay eyes on you once a year or so. You use telegrams and you won't stop. Adam, hilarious. Are telegrams still a thing? Can you still send a telegram? I wonder why anybody would have to send a telegram. I think a text is quicker than a telegram. Carrier pigeons, when the mood strikes you, carrier pigeons are lovely. You still have cash only places as a normal occurrence. Wow, Sophia. Some places here like to not take cash. Exactly, Fuzzy. Exactly. Cash only places, they're places who don't like to take cash. And you can pay, I mean, with Apple Pay, you can pay with your phone. And I'm sure Google Pay for Android has something similar. It works like a charm. See, there he is. He's just sitting on my lap. So this movie, Electric State, it got me to watch it because it has oh, name is not gonna come to me. Excellent character actor. He was in The Devil Wears Prada. He was the assistant. Meryl Streep's buddy. And Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci was in it. So I went, I will watch anything with Stanley Tucci in it. Not taking cash was a cooties change as well because cash is dirty. Yeah, cash is gross. Money is dirty and stinky and gross. You pay with your Apple Watch, Lupita? Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Stanley Tucci, exactly. Douglas Fairbanks Jr., not him, Adam. Not him. Kristen, you don't know what a telegram is, sweetie? Girl, we got a baby in here. Yes, Stanley Tucci, Sophia. I'll watch anything with Stanley Tucci in it. I adore that man. He is really, really pleasant to watch. So it had Stanley Tucci and it also had Millie Bobby Brown. You haven't been in a grocery store since the really? Phone Morse code? I have seen some of Stanley Tucci and his touring, his cooking and touring travel show. Yes, I have seen some of them. They are lovely. Lovely. I adore Stanley Tucci. So this movie looked to be a cute little sci-fi story, but it just The Devil Wears Prada, Adam. The Devil Wears Prada. Adam, I think these are your exercises. I think you just come around here so you stay nimble. You're just trying out material and trying to stay nimble. It felt like, and my husband said it really well, it felt like set piece after set piece. It felt like it was just, I don't know, it felt like it was just one production after another production, right? Which was disappointing because I think Candygram for Mongo, yes. I think I think it could have been a good story. I think it could have been a good story if it had been done better. Telegrams were transmitted across the phone lines through the use of Morse code through the switchboard operator. Really? That's interesting, Indigo. You could also have Western Union. Western Union started as a telegram company. I'm going to play the Clearwater Theater in 2045 when it's filmed. We will all come, Adam. I'm going to hold you to that. You do like certain traditions? Yeah, I can understand that, Sophia. I mean, tradition is tradition and it's hard to get out of that. We Americans, I was talking to my student who is Syrian, and she mentioned she wanted to send me pictures of this old house. And I was like, define old, because here in America, an old house could be 100 years old, an old house 200 years old, an old house might be considered 50 years old. I mean, our house is more than 50 years old. We live in an old house. She was like, no, not that kind of old. Right, Sophia? When you're around different kind of old. Yes, Kristen, seriously. It was the message would be transmitted by phone to over Morse code, and then they would dispatch a messenger with the message to read it to you. it was expensive. They um at least that's what I think they did. I don't know. There's probably a video somewhere about how telegrams worked, how Western Union worked. It was instant communication for the day. This was mainly because more industrialized countries like America had to send communication faster than the mail service to countries like Mexico, Cuba, or Philippines. Yes. And I believe at the time a telegram was cheaper than a phone call. If you believe the mud flood people, our buildings are thousands of years old. Second mud flood reference of the day. Okay, who are the mud flood people? Who are the mud flood people? Oh my goodness. These are real people, Adam? Are you, these are this is a real thing. Wow. Wow, Adam. Chile built a proto-internet using telex machines. Cool, Adam. Yes, they did have telegram runners, the people who would take the message through a receiver after it was decoded and read it to you. Yes, Indigo. Like that. They'd read it to you. They'd read it to you. We had a house from 1797 where my father, sisters, and his cousins were born in. Wow, Sophia. They're real people and real that. Did you see my eyes get wide, Adam? Okay, so for all of you who are wondering, the mud flood people believe the mud flood theory that a massive worldwide cataclysmic flood of mud occurred in the relatively recent past, sometime between the 18th and the 19th centuries, right? Which puts it 1750 to 1850. This flood happened and wiped out an advanced global civilization that has since been covered up by mainstream history. A major mud flood event buried entire cities and buildings under several feet of soil, mud, or sediment. Many older buildings, especially those with windows and doors at what's now basement level, are seen as proof. They claim these buildings were once at ground level but got buried. You have got to be kidding me. So because we have a soda sighting, y'all. Soda is upset because he wants his meal, and it is a half an hour past dinner time. So he is going to come and sit on the desk. Your cousin got a telegram from Fran Tarkenton. You never heard from her again. What, Adam? Our oldest structures are in St. Augustine, dating back to 1565 during the Spanish Inquisition. Yes. Last time I was in Florida, I wanted to go to Fort Augustine. Are you ready to get down? Soda's leaving. Maybe Orion's ready to get down. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. A major mud flood event buried entire cities and buildings under several feet of soil, mud, or sediment. Many older buildings, especially those with windows and doors at what now basement level, are seen as proof. These buildings were once at ground level but got buried. They often link the event to the Tartarian Empire myth, a supposed lost global civilization with advanced technology and architecture. They believe this civilization was intentionally erased from history by modern powers. My goodness gracious. Orion, hush. Do these people, the Tartarian Empire myth. There's a cafe where you can pet capybaras in St. Augustine. Second capybara reference of the day. Yeah, I was just going to say, Fuzzy. The World Fairs are ancient structures and then torn down to protect the secret. Adam, I got nothing, Adam. We still have World Fairs. There's one in Dubai coming up. The World Fair is in Osaka this year. World Fairs were supposedly Tartarians. So the Tartaria was supposedly a global superpower with free energy, advanced technology, and monumental architecture. It was erased from history by a coordinated cover-up blamed on governments, secret societies, and colonial powers. Beautiful old buildings with domes, spires, and intricate designs are claimed to be Tartarian in origin, inherited but not built by the modern nations that claimed them. Mud flood theory is often merged with Tartarian civilization, that the Tartarians were wiped out by a cataclysmic flood of mud. Some also link it to free energy via antennas on buildings like spires and domes, often believed to have functioned as a wireless power source. Tartary actually was a real term used by European map makers from the 13th to 19th centuries to refer vaguely to a large area of Central and Northeastern Asia. So it encompassed regions inhabited by various nomadic people like the Tartars, the Mongols, and others, not a single empire. Was never a unified political entity. The belief in a hidden Tartarian empire stems from, I'm having trouble talking tonight, y'all, stems from misinterpretation of antique maps and outdated terminology. Wild. Wild. Some people should probably smoke less. Some people should go to elementary school. Second new cult in 2 days? Yeah. Don't go, heard it was awful. Oh no, Lupita. Tartarian kooks flood Instagram architecture pages. Oh, the Osaka Fair was awful? Okay. Exactly, Fuzzy. That's my question. So if it's a cover up, what are we covering up? Why the conspiracy? Kristen, I'm old. I'm not sure what on the bus means. The big events are on a lottery system. Oh. Well, they have to have some way. They have to have some way to screen people. They want to conceal the glory of Tartar. So I was going to say we should do some homework, guys. I've got this paper to read. You're going to love this title. Are you ready for it? Okay. You ready? The title is On the Anaphoric Use of Demonstratives, This, These in Second Language Academic Writing. Usual stuff. We were once perfect, and the evil ones seek to control us by destroying members of our memories of our utopian past. But why, Adam? But why? I mean, we were once perfect. There's a story about that in the Bible. There's a story about that in almost every religion. I get where they come up with the basic outline of the story. But seriously, basements have been buried? Have they never seen, like, that's not the way this works. I can't believe people really believe this shit. I guess I can. People really believe there are still people, there are still people who really think that the tariffs are a good thing. And if you are one of them, please let me know because we need to talk. Because I think you're wrong if you think the tariffs are a good thing. I think you have some basic misunderstandings. I hear I hear you, Adam. If the past was utopian, where would the evil come from? Well, everything I've ever read about utopia, Sophia, is it turns into evil. Utopias managed to turn into evil with an alarming frequency. Alarming frequency. Utopias turn into evil. That is what I gleaned out of all the utopian books that they had me read in high school. That utopia is evil. It it can't help but devolve into evil. That is what I got out of tuck everlasting and its ilk. Never liked. I don't like utopian. I don't like utopian shit. It scares me. It's like horror movies. I think it's unfun. That is my opinion. Utopia, perfect. It's like this. Perfect is the enemy of good, y'all. Every day, all the time, 24/7, 365. It's all a way to control people, trying to make them strive to meet some unattainable standard. Well, yeah, but eh, I don't know, it's nuts. There's always a devilish cohort who seek to overturn utopia. Uh, yeah, there are always the evil ones that are against us. It is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous narrative. Because if you were perfect, I mean, perfect is the enemy of good, y'all. Perfect is the enemy of good. Anytime you hear anybody claiming for anything to be perfect, you need to really examine their thinking. Yes, it's just another version of the Lemuria Aryan myth. So it wouldn't be utopia in the first place, so it's a major discrepancy in the plausibility of the theories. If there was utopia, there wouldn't be evil in the first place. Yes. Tuck Everlasting focuses more on the impact of immortality than it does utopias. The issue there is that you cannot deviate from the standard without it causing issues, or there being a deep control aspect over their actions and erasing individuality. Yes, I know, but I got utopia out of it. Don't like utopia. Himmler sent expeditions to Tibet looking for traces of the Aryan past. Yes, Adam. And who defined what was perfection in the first place? Exactly. Exactly, Fuzzy. Logical coherence is not their strong suit. They need some logic classes, Adam. Maybe a philosophy class. Could we have them watch The Good Place for remedial education? After Judgment Day, then in heavens, that's supposed to be utopia. Is that bad or doesn't count? I mean, look, my favorite parable about heaven is the story where the man goes to hell, and what he sees are tables and feasts of everything you could want, access to everything you could want. Everything was beautiful. The tables were flowing over. Everything is as you want it. But everybody's arms were locked at the elbows. So they can't bend their arms. So you can't do anything for yourself because you can't bend your arms. Everybody's arms were locked at the elbows. And it was all manner of raucous and awful screaming and fighting and wailing and carrying on because nobody could bend their elbows. So that was hell. And then this person gets taken to heaven and he's confused because heaven looks exactly the same. Everybody in heaven, the tables were laid out beautifully. Everything looked exactly the same, including people's arms being shackled. So that was the only difference between heaven and hell. I wanted her to live a full life without the pain of having to see the past repeat. I hear you, Indigo. I hear you. A book that confronts utopia is The Giver. Okay, I'll read that one, Indigo. Is that I think I've read that one. Is that by Ursula K. Le Guin? Is that the one by Ursula? Edward von Hartmann believed that the only true utopia would be the destruction of the entire universe. Anytime you're trying to reach perfection, who defines perfect? Who defines perfect? By what definition are you looking for perfection? According to whose definition? So, utopia, perfection, we used to be better and now we've fallen. I mean, it's one thing to say we're imperfect and we make mistakes and we strive to do better. The Giver by Lois Lowry. That's the hilarious part about that to me. They want to destroy utopia, but utopia is perfect for everyone. So no evil would exist in the first place, and they never explain that discrepancy. You define perfect? The world's largest meeting of golden retrievers is held in Austin, Texas. That's your utopia. I think that sounds like heaven, Fuzzy. I like that. Destroy utopia, but utopia is perfect for everyone, so no evil would exist in the first place. And the reality is, y'all, there is no life without struggle. If there was life without struggle, life without pain, there would be no growth. I don't, I mean, the people, Kristen, who would argue for the, I'm just saying the people who believe this mud flood nonsense, they believe that we used to have a utopia. And that can easily get turned into striving for a utopia, which can get a little difficult because everybody's fucking definition of utopia is different. It's just complicated. And maybe I'm babbling, y'all. If I'm not making any sense, please tell me. I am this schedule. We are in week 5. I believe this is week 5. Yeah, it's week 5. This schedule this quarter is killing me, y'all. Killing me. I feel like all I've been doing is going. And then when I get time off, all I want to do is zone out. Utopia functions because one group controls another. Exactly. Look at District 13 in the Hunger Games. President Coin is no better than President Snow. It's just a different method of control. Exactly. Homer Simpson wanted a Fruitopia. I'll go for Fruitopia. Orion, come back here. You do not get free roam. Come on. Come on. You do not get free roaming privileges tonight. You were being a pill. So you have to stay here with me. You deeply enjoy discussing the origin of classic novels and why these concepts are universal. Ah, the mudflood people are right. I don't know, Kristen. The mudflood people seem to be really confused. And what do I think about utopia after death? I think Sophia, I'll come back to that, Kristen. I think the movie is Pleasantville or something where you got this illusion of utopia with reality crashing in over time. And that's more the reality of utopia. Yes, Pleasantville is a lovely movie. I mean, it's really good. I don't know that lovely is the right word, but it's really good. And it manages this I mean, utopia in some ways is black and white, right? Everybody has to fit in the box. So, Kristen, I guess everybody's so back to the parable of heaven and hell and the people with the locked elbows, right? Why was one heaven? Why was one heaven and one hell, Kristen? What was different then between heaven and hell? If everything is the same, if everything that's provided is the same, and the only punishment is they can't bend their elbows, but the same punishment is exacted in heaven. Everything is the same. Why is one heaven and one hell? Anybody having any thoughts on that? It's I think I mean, human beings are imperfect beings. And the idea that we go to heaven and everything is perfected. I don't know. I don't know that I want to live imperfect. I don't know. I mean, is that what you want, to live imperfect? Hey, Papa Cat. It's the same argument you get when you contemplate the message of the film The Truman Show or when you first watch WandaVision. Yes. It was their perspective, Kristen. It was their perspective. The people in heaven did things for each other. That's the only difference. The people in heaven did things for each other, and the people in hell didn't. And so you could live in perfection. Well, okay, let me take that back. I could live in my perfection. If it's my perfection, if I get my holodeck version of heaven, then yes, I could live in it. Yes. Well, that's what I was talking about. There's a story like this in the Bible, Indigo. I could live in my perfection, but is it gonna be my perfection or is it gonna be somebody else's perfection? And if it's my perfection, who else is gonna be there with me? Well, nobody said there were rules you couldn't do that, Kristen. I didn't say that there were any rules. I didn't The people in hell don't have any rules. There's no rules about it. The people in hell just didn't do it. That's why it was hell, which is to say, to some extent, your perspective makes heaven or hell, which is not to say there aren't hellish circumstances. Yeah, there weren't any rules. People in hell don't cheat. Right. People in hell were helping. So the problem I have with heaven is there's always hell as a duality. It's always heaven or hell. And I don't believe that a loving God would exact eternal punishment. I just if if I'm positing a loving God, I I know what everything says. I know what all the words say. But if I posit a loving God, they just float in shampoo. Prel shampoo specifically, Adam. It's like the people who want the good old days back. There were no good old days because one's group delusion of good comes at the expense of others. It's inconvenient to have to share and reflect. People in hell don't work together. They are self-absorbed and selfish. Exactly, Kristen. Exactly that. Orion, you are sticking here with me, Bubba. Evil people go to Prel. So there's always a hell, which means there's always a threat. And I don't think that anybody should come to religion out of fear. I think that people should come to religion out of love. So because I think that when you come to religion out of fear, then what you do is you spread that fear and you're only functioning out of fear. And if you're functioning out of fear, it's difficult to function out of law. I have an issue with hell that tells me that you aren't allowed to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow. I don't believe in eternal sin. I believe we face evil or hardship to learn lessons. Yes. Someone get a wrench in Black Adam for Prel. It's pretty funny. But we only learn accountability if we are allowed to redeem ourselves. Exactly. Exactly. We don't have any wrenches here, do we? No wrenches today. I guess I'll have to take up the wrench head if we get anybody bad in here. Indigo, I agree with that issue with hell. What is redemption? I don't believe a loving God would consign his creation. If we are going just by the story, a loving God consigning his creation to hell. Now, I know a loving God is not how the Old Testament reads. I get that. Well, I was challenged on that once. Yeah, you should have misspelled that, Kristen. Let me fix it real quick. Hold on. There we go. All fixed. All fixed, Kristen. Except it'll be in the restream, Kristen. The plural of wrench should be raunch. That's funny, Adam. If you block straight, if you block Adam Carmona, you will go straight to Prel. Exactly. You always like the concept of hell loops from Lucifer. You relive your hell loop until you decided to walk out because you actually got past the shame and fear. I like that concept, Sophia. Yeah, you can delete your own. I forgot too, Kristen. I always forget too. I always forget you can delete your own too. So the problem with hell is you get conversion through fear, and conversion through fear leads to incorrect focus in worship. Thanks, Kristen. It'll still show in the replay. There's nothing I can do about that. It's unfortunate. It's a family friendly channel. I don't know, Indigo. I say the F word pretty much on the regular. We hit First Minnesota. Goodbye, y'all. They're going to go a little faster tonight because I am tired. Get raunchy. Adam, I don't know how you do it. You are so talented. I hope you have a use for this talent in real life beyond terrorizing all of us. I don't mean that. We love having you here. It is not terroristic. It is excellent. Lots of people convert out of fear, Kristen. Lots of people convert out of fear. All you have to do is watch the way they preach. What do they preach about? What is their focus? Is their focus on needing to repent? Um, is their focus on an eternal reward? Or is their focus on the cycle of repentance and renewal and perfect being the enemy of good? I think a lot of people convert out of fear. I think that's the most common way people convert to a religion. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that word either, should I? This one's gonna get taken down, y'all. I'm afraid of Westboro Baptist too. They are pretty terrifying. And what are they preaching? They're preaching hellfire and brimstone. You don't see any love in the Westboro Baptist Church. I don't see any love expressed in the Westboro Baptist Church. I don't see much love expressed by the Christo-fascists either. William Buckley and Huey Newton discussed this very issue on Firing Line. Tell me more, Adam. I tend to disagree, Kristen. I think there's a whole lot of fear, not hate, but fear in Christianity. For me, having a duality that doesn't confront the fact of gray areas gives people control over you. It doesn't factor in the complication of free choice and how that affects overall outcomes. Yes, that's another thing. It's a trap, right? God gives you free choice, but yet if you choose wrong, you're in trouble. How the fuck is that supposed to work? Actually, God didn't give us free choice. If you will recall, when we were in this supposed utopia, that we are trying to re-establish, theoretically, for those looking for utopia, we didn't have free choice. If you don't have free choice, how is it utopia? The show criticizes the traditional idea of hell and shame based the the traditional idea of hell and shame based approach to religion and focuses more on the self-determination and evolution as a person who embraces living life. Yes. Huey Newton asked Buckley if he would have supported the American Revolution at the time. And what did Buckley say? I expect Buckley said no, he wouldn't have supported the revolution at the time. I mean, there are a lot of folks who didn't support the American Revolution. People weren't into it. What did I miss about George Washington? I don't know, Kristen. I would say non-denominational Christianity is pretty fear-filled. For example, if AH was given a choice to establish his visions in architecture or explore his viewpoint as an artist, I wonder if he would have had different or it would have been radicalized still. Exactly. Well, that's my answer to the question of does he deserve hell? He was an infant once, wasn't he? He was an innocent child. He was an innocent child once. That would be materialism, not metaphysics and religion. I don't I don't think so, Kristen. I think that that's exceedingly religious to believe in to believe criticizing the traditional idea of hell and shame based approach to religion, focusing more on self determination and evolution as a person. I think that's very religious. I think that God can be completely at the center of that. Same thing in Islam, same thing in Hinduism, same thing in Buddhism. You get extremists in all religion, all religion. Anybody who says there's only one right way, there is a problem, in my opinion. And I'm in my opinion. Buckley probably would have supported it, and Huey, let me back up. Huey Newton asked Buckley if he would have supported the American Revolution at the time. Buckley said probably he would have supported it. Interesting. And Huey said, "You're not so bad. That's funny." At that point, historically, Germany suffered greatly for reparations from the Great War. If it wasn't AH, it could have been Himmler or someone else. Yes, the context is everything. Maybe we should treat the homeless like AH was better. Yeah, I agree, Nebulous. I saw so many people trap themselves over expectations they were raised into and never questioned because they trusted the source and it never made sense to me. This right here, Sophia. What is the definition of perfect? An attempt to create a perfect society often leads to cults, such as suppressing individuals' freedoms. In your opinion, I agree, Lupita. Again, perfection, perfect, perfect is the enemy of good. There is no perfect. There is good enough. There are good enough mothers. There are good enough humans. There are good enough friends. Nobody is perfect. You would need to consider deeper what Sophia is saying and maybe watch the show. I think it also depends on your perspective. Whole um my whole approach to religion is rather humanistic. I mean, look, to suggest we know God's mind, what God is thinking, what God's plan is, to suggest, to even utter an idea that we could know that seems to me to be the height of arrogance. I think we can say these messages appear to be sacred. And the way I measure that is, how does that fit with humanity's idea of what is right? And, murder is pretty universally decried. I also never understood the mystifying of Mustache Dude as this overly powerful super creature. He was a washed up trauma survival that got propped up enough to have momentum to cause that damage. Something we are seeing play out in real time, eh, Sophia? Yes. Yes, Indigo. We are all someone's daughter, someone's son, and everyone is someone. That's why someone should always help everybody. Yes. Yes. Otto von Bismarck, Sarah Bernhardt hybrid. Oh my goodness, Adam. I skipped a lot of your comments, so let me go back. Otto von Bismarck. Okay, let me back up. I've seen this as well. I think it comes down to generational trauma experiences. It's scary to have your world challenged because you have to admit that maybe it wasn't right. Exactly that, Indigo. Not investigating is terrible in my mind, but I imagine that it could be a privilege for some. Yes. I agree with this very much, Sophia. I agree with that. Your approach to God is pretty different. Yeah. It's all in your approach to God. John Atack is writing a book comparing Mustache Man's ideology to Scientology. Well, excellent for John Atack. Dawn, how are you, honey? Not opposite, but different. There are lots of different approaches to God. And the problem is when you start getting into religion, religion can dictate what approach to God is right and what approach to God isn't right. And you know, my relationship with God, I'm a grown ass woman. My relationship with God is between me and God. So anybody else can fuck right off with that shit. Evil is just illusion that appears in the absence of goodness. Nebulous, you missed the parable of heaven and hell that I told earlier. You're still late. That's okay, Dawn. We appreciate late. You sneaking in right under the second goodbye. Lucifer translates to light bringer, technically meaning he asked the questions that were inconvenient, a concept not commonly looked at because of power structures in Christianity. Indeed, Sophia. One needs to remember the context. Self-hatred seems to be root of human choking on nothing. Choking on nothing. Okay, I'll check the group chat in a little while, Dawn. Don't think evil is an illusion at all. It's a tool to create division. Everyone has the capability to do bad things. We choose not to. Right, right. Exactly. He didn't even make most of the decisions, actually. Right, exactly, Sophia. Lucifer is punished for not bending his knee to Adam, as God has said to not have idols other than himself. You're Zoroastrian Methodist? Dawn, it was just something. It's from smoking, Dawn. I just got something caught in my throat. I just got something caught in my throat. I don't know what caused it. I don't like it either. It's been bugging me for a while, but the doctor's going to tell me it's smoker's cough from the vaping, and so I should probably just cut back on the vaping and the weed. I was raised on comparative religion, Kristen, so that was my bread and butter in religious education from the time I was a baby. Was we spent a quarter learning about world religions, and we spent a quarter learning about Judeo-Christian heritage, and we spent a quarter learning about Unitarian heritage. And so I got this well-formed concept because what Unitarians believe is that everybody forms their own relationship with God, and you need to be guided by that by having a good understanding of your own values. I do have a humidifier. You believe me? Good, Dawn. I don't want to get in trouble with the nurse. Machiavellian mindsets seek to divide. Despite all the scientific research and evidential proof, there exist those who still insist that they are somehow born more equal than others. Right, Nebulous, and they make the statistics up. They make the statistics up to show that. You need to have gummies or other edibles still. I know. I know. They take longer. They take longer. Yeah, it's really easy for me to hop on this topic. Religion is not, it's not because of you. It's just really easy for me to hop on this topic. Anyone want to make you guess why your very Catholic family doesn't particularly enjoy your point of view on religion? I just don't accept the set narrative blindly. I have determined that the mystics are where it's at generally. Not always, but more mystical religions are more apt to, my experience, my reading, maybe Adam will correct me, tend to be more open to the experiences of the other. Yes, she is very wise, isn't she, Indigo? I agree. The crazy coaster, I'm missing comments as they come through. To quote a song from Duran Duran, I'm on a ride and I want to get off, but they won't slow down on the roundabout. Ah, I feel you, Dawn. I feel you. I know you're really struggling with it. Funny thing is, I didn't value truth and honesty very much until I'm now seeing this religion similar to my value of integrity when I started to study and adopt African internationalism. I figured you would, Adam. I knew I was stepping in it there. Tell me more. Tell me why. Maybe my religion is too shallow. I'm not clear, Kristen, if you value integrity, how you didn't value truth and honesty. Mystics tend to be the metaphysical foot soldiers of dogma. Some mystics. I will concur. You're not wrong. That's why, I mean, you're not wrong with that. Same with the experience and proof of evidence in religion. I don't have a reference to until this religion. I'm tad freaked out and upset about it. So, the advice I would give is don't let that disorient you. Just because you've stepped onto a different ride and you're experiencing it, let it wash over you. It's like you need to let it wash over you enough until you're not responding to it in the same way. You need to let go of your preconceived notions and just watch what the responses are. And with Islam, I just worry, Kristen, because just conversion is not a step to be taken lightly. And one of my concerns about converts can tend to be more dogmatic than non-converts, in my experience. So it's something to be really aware of and understand before somebody said to me once, this wonderful Muslim woman, she said, so many people want people to convert, and they want people to convert and do it quickly. And I'm not, what she was saying about converting to a different religion is that it is really important to take it slow and do your learning and do your deconstruction. Because if you haven't done your deconstruction of your own belief system up till then you're just going to be putting on new clothing over an old frame. So I don't think you need to be upset. Just let it wash over you and experience it. The Dalai Lama, for example, is a highly dogmatic despite his public relations. You're not wrong. Polytheism was more common when there weren't modern understanding of science or medicine. So they created gods to explain things. That is also true, Indigo. The Japanese Zen masters were very supportive of the Imperial Japanese Army. Yes. I prefer focusing on the values transported with the vehicle religion. I don't care about the vehicle as much as getting there. Yes, Sophia. Come in with nothing, leave with nothing. See Tutankhamun and all his treasures. He didn't take them with him. No, he didn't. He didn't. Yes. Yes, Kristen. So you can tend to, a convert will tend to extra adopt and then tend to feel this need to prove themselves all the time. So what you need to do rather than that is to just focus on learning and not trying to be perfect. Not trying to be perfect. You grew up in a place with the old connection to paganism. It's less dogmatic and shame-based and more about the connection to the world around you. I always connected more to that, actually. Yeah. New wine and old wine skins. That too, Lupita. Deconstruction. I mean, if you think about remodeling a house and what deconstruction means, if you're deconstructing the house, you can't just like put, you can't put Hindu clothing over a Methodist upbringing without the Hinduism looking awfully Methodist. It's you have to learn the religion. I'm sorry, Kristen. I don't mean to read your soul through the computer, dear. Julian James believed that ancient gods were actually auditory hallucinations, that culture promoted a reorganization of our mental structures. Is he another mystic? New flooring on top of carpet. Exactly, Dawn. No, you got to take that shit down to studs, and sometimes you got to take the studs out and dig a whole new foundation. I had a good friend who was raised in a deeply conservative religion and had left and was talking to me about her struggle in knowing how to deal with an issue with her child. And I said, I don't understand why you have to deal with this issue. And she started explaining it to me. And I said, but you're viewing this through, okay, let me read it again, Adam. Thank you for the backstory. We're viewing it through your why do you think it's a problem? You think it's a problem because you're viewing it through this lens. Change your lenses. When you look in the mirror next, remember what is not reflected in the image are all of those special memories made, the lives touched and saved, yet exist just like that image. Yeah. Receipts that show otherwise? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I agree with you, Dawn. I actually never really connected to Christianity in the first place. Don't get me wrong, I like Jesus, but the whole religion concept made of it wasn't my world. North Korea has no soul. Fuzzy, I think your rep is blown. Julian James believed that ancient gods were actually auditory hallucinations that culture prompted a reorganization of our mental structures. Interesting. That is fascinating, Adam. I can see that, Adam. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Oops, we missed second. Did we get second Minnesota goodbye? Fab Daddy with the words of wisdom. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery that we explore. Man, you're wise, Fab Daddy. You bring that out more often. I know, Block Adam. Islam is giving you a love and respect for Christianity that you never had. Islam, practiced correctly, does have a love and respect for Christianity. That is true. That is true. At least for the most part. That has been my experience with practicing Muslims. A 2,000-year-old book just needs translation into today's meeting. See the Swedenborgians, yes. Islam is a good concept until humanity decided to use it. Well, I think most religion is good is good conceptually. James's book is The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. I have heard of this book. What is the consensus about James's viewpoints, Adam? Is there any majority consensus, or do people kind of like him and kind of not like him and think it's think that they disagree, or is there a consensus? I am clearly getting tired. I'm starting to babble. Let me put on some lip gloss, y'all. Lip gloss, lip gloss. Where art thou? There, that's better. You asked your baby brother, what would you do if we were walking down the street and we found the actual book of the Word of God? He said, I would put it back. There you go. There you go. I think Islam can get over invested in proving the actuality of their claims. That's what I think, Kristen. He's not widely accepted, but he's also not viewed as a kook. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad theory. It's not a bad theory. Okay, you guys, we are coming up to third Minnesota goodbye. Who do you think we're gonna get? Any ideas? We saw Papa Cat, but we haven't seen Brain Fog. Trying to find pictures on my computer. There we go. That's where you're at? Which one's where you're at? That you would put it down? I'm sorry, I lost track of what I was saying. Imagine from a potential millions of others, you made it first into that mummy inherited on average 1 million from her mom's mommy. We are winners before even born. Exactly, Nebulous. Cobilf. Yeah, I haven't seen Cobilf for a while. Dusty would be nice. I haven't seen MLH. Fab Daddy slid in just underneath that third Minnesota goodbye. I always want to call it the fourth one, you guys. Alan Watts. I don't know Alan Watts, Lupita. Big Chief. Big Chief would be nice. I like it when Big Chief shows up. I do like it when Big Chief shows up. This has been a fun conversation. There's this book by Arto Pasolina with the premise of the thunder god's son being sent down to recruit again, and it's a brilliant dissection of the religious approaches to conversion. Oh, Sophia, that sounds excellent. I don't think there's an algorithm for that yet. Alan Watts offered the way of the Zen. Got it. Arto Pasolina. Yeah, I was going to say, we got on to doing the homework. That's where I was going next. Exactly that, Fuzzy. I hope this conversation wasn't too bad, but the other option, the proof and evidence, I get a little frustrated with their focus on proof. I think that it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why it makes me uncomfortable, Kristen, but it makes me uncomfortable, this constant insistence that it's true, that it has to be true, and that if you don't see it, I mean, that's what I get out of it. If you're not seeing it, then there's something wrong with you. Antics. You just won Third Minnesota goodbye, girl. You just won Third Minnesota goodbye. So the paper that we were supposed to read together tonight, that we didn't read at all, you guys, is on the anaphoric use of demonstratives, this, these in second language academic writing. On the anaphoric use of demonstratives, this, these in L2 academic writing. Yeah. Antics. We have an amazing still life of pizza for you. Check that out. Lupita, don't forget to email me. Do you have my email, Lupita? Lupita and Antics, you guys email me and I will get your awards off to you. I always found that atheists and believers make the same mistake. Absolutism and conviction. Sophia, I have that same problem with atheists. I have that same problem with atheists. Absolutism and conviction. I how the fuck are you so sure about anything? This like, also, if the narrative works, the narrative works. There are plenty of non-religious evilness that happens. If water came into existence 10.5 million years ago, the earth is 4.45 billion years ago. That makes the water inside each of us pretty ancient stuff, considering this planet hasn't lost a drop. Exactly. I think academics dealing with ESL should write ESL friendly versions of their paper. Adam, I will try that line out in class tomorrow and see how it plays. I will try that line out in class tomorrow and see how it plays. So does anybody know what anaphoric means? As you all go to ChatGPT to look it up. So I've been watching and reading Atheists versus Muslims, and this is why I'm here. Like I was trying to mind my own business. Good people go to Previn. They spend eternity in an orchestra. An orchestra would be nice. An in-tune orchestra. The last thing you wanted was God stuff in your life. Now that you've got some God stuff in your life, Kristen, start looking around at all the other God stuff. Don't just look at God through one lens. Try on all the other lenses. Now that you've seen it through a different lens so you can see the differences, try removing the lens you had and looking at it through different lenses. See what lenses you can change. See what different perspectives you can adopt. Before you make changes, look around. Previn equals Prel. Exactly. Getting billions and millions mixed up, but yes, I did know what you meant, nebulous. You're wanting your friends and family to Baker Act you? Let's not have let's not go to that. Just, you're trying on different lenses. That's good. Now try taking your glasses off and trying those lenses on. Because if I put on one set of lenses and I have these on my face and I try to I've done that, right? I've got my contacts in. I've got my contacts in and I'm putting these lenses on top. But if I take my contact lenses out and put these lenses on top, they do different things. All the lenses do different things. And if I forget and I try to watch the TV through these lenses, I can't. You love hearing orchestras tune up. I also like the one person who coughs before they start playing. Oh, that's sweet, Adam. Believe what you want to believe, but don't consider it absolute truth. Don't tell anyone else to act by it. And don't justify treating people like less over it. Yes, Sophia. Can we put that on a bumper sticker? I will tell you, I was never more angry than when my kindergartner came to me and told me that people in her class told her that Santa Claus was a lie. You're waiting for them. Oh, I see. Well, take it slow. Look for things from all different perspectives. You know, try on lots of different, lots of different options. I'm quite fond of the oboe, Fuzzy. I'm quite fond of the oboe. My husband's a trumpet. I like the trumpets. But the oboe, I think, is just really expressive. Or maybe that's the bassoon. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. Cymbal player. Live life and love life. It's simple, really. Yes. It seems simple. People people seem to have a trouble with the golden rule. Brian, how are you? It is good to see you. Cello? Cello is nice. Cello is very nice. I like some cello. I forgot to turn the music on tonight. Best orchestral performance is George Solti conducting Tannhauser. Tannhauser. I don't give a flying fuck about the name of the entity or what extra rules you choose to put on yourself, so long as you let others live in peace and choose love and kindness. I'm right with you, Sophia. Coming in close for winner, but second place for third Minnesota. I know. So close. There's always room for cello. Yes. Yes, there is. Always room for cello. Cello is lovely. Quite fond of violin also, but usually in a fiddle. Lord, we're having just a whole slew of y'all for third Minnesota goodbye. Hey, Dusty, how you doing, dear? What is new? It has been forever since I've seen you. I know I've been skipping out on lives, y'all. I'm this schedule, like I've mentioned several times, the schedule this quarter is killing me. I've just I've got something almost every day. Bugs Bunny directing the London Philharmonic has its points. I'm with you, Fuzzy. I think that Bugs has his points. I adore limoncello. Actual limoncello, Adam. I think I need to find a good recipe. Now you arise at the crack of dawn. Nebulous, are you trying to like take Adam's crown? Guys, I think we're going to have frozen pizza for dinner. At least that's what I'm looking forward to. We get these frozen pizzas from Costco. They are square pepperoni deep dish pizza. And these suckers, Lemon Pledge. I love Lemon Pledge. Find a recipe for a good limoncello. These pizzas are so good. I know why I've got pizza on the brain. It's Antics. It's Antics Prize. That's what's given me pizza on the brain. Quack of Dawn, Nebulous. Kristen, are you playing favorites? You want us to boot Adam, but Nebulous is cool? The Lemon Pledge of Allegiance. I love Lemon Pledge. You remember all those commercials when we were kids? Those were excellent. Excellent commercials. What'd you miss? Dusty, we had a wide-ranging comparative religion discussion this evening. Lemon Pledge cupcakes. Lemon cake is probably my favorite cake, but I am really fond of lemon. Lemon meringue pie, lemon bars. Oh, I love a good lemon bar with a shortcake crust. They are so good. Made from scratch. Really the best thing on the planet. Good lemon bars. Oh, Neb does it in moderation. I see. I see. Come here, Bubba. You think you can behave now if I let you go? Okay. See if he can behave. Marty Hartman talking to her sister about floor wax. There you go. Evokes memories of your grandma. Exactly. Exactly. We didn't play any of the game tonight. We didn't play any games. We talked about religion all evening. How was your Zoom poetry reading, Brian? Did you have a nice time? That sounds lovely. I hope it went well. Adam, be careful. I'll make you moderator. I had to visit my medical physician due to putting 24 nebulous. Seriously? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Orion has been tied to me because, well, it's my fault. Orion, he's misbehaving, so his roaming privileges were suspended. Orion, I can't tell. It went well and was quite interested. You can't be trusted with a wrench. I don't know about that, Adam. Hey, you little hellion. How was it was interesting? How was it interesting, Brian? Yeah, I knew you were misbehaving. Come here. Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were misbehaving. So you're going to get a treat for misbehaving. Here you go. Sit. Sit pretty. Good boy. Now behave yourself. Quit getting into things. You will not go into that rabbit hole or this will get arranged. Yes. Orion's crimes. Well, I was going through some papers in a bin the other day and I found a package of cat treats. And it's simply dehydrated chicken breast. That's all. It's just straight dehydrated chicken breast. But he found it. I left it on the table and he found it and has brought it to me because he knows lots of different poets, lots of different perspectives. Just what we were talking about tonight. Lots of different perspectives. It's okay, Nebulous. I'm up to live now. You were behind for a minute. Okay, Dusty. I'm glad you're here now. So Orion knows the command, bring it here. So what he'll do, I'm sure I've told this story before, when he wants attention, is he'll go find random things and get into them so that I will tell him to bring them here so that he will get a treat because he wants to play. So those were Orion's crimes. See, he's bringing me. Bring it here. He brought me another one of the piece of papers that I left there. And he's going to go back and see if he can find something else. Hey, Kenny. Yeah, chicken jerky, essentially. Okay, y'all. Remember how I told you I was tired and all of that? Dogs are really smart. Yes, he is. He is too smart for his own good, Sophia. He is very, very smart. You guys didn't see it, but I told him to bring it here to me and he dropped it on the ground and he doesn't get it unless he puts it directly in my hand. So he picked it up and shook his head and gave it to me. Because he doesn't get it unless it goes right in my hand. Hey, Orion, bring it here. Bring it here. Bring it here. Shall we get you up here and say goodbye to everybody? Come on. Come on. Come here. Look at you. Yes. Look at you. Nice. You be nice. There you go. I hope it helped, Kristen. I hope it helped. I didn't want you to feel too exposed, sweetheart. That wasn't my intention at all. And if that's the case, I apologize. I hope it was helpful, not hurtful. You have concert night tomorrow and Saturday. Friday, you'll be at Flag while everyone is in Hawaii. Everyone's going to Hawaii and you're going to Flag by yourself? My goodness. Really? You're going to clean my makeup off now? Yeah, I know. I know. Snarf a snarf a snarf. Mhm. I know. I know. You got to lick my face, don't you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Enough. Settle, please. Thank you. There is a Save the Garden rally May 10th. You'll be streaming it. Excellent. Yes, sending best wishes. Absolutely, Nebulous. Absolutely. Okay, you guys, much hugs. Hugs and hugs and hugs. Thanks for coming and spending the evening with me. Okay, good, Kristen. I'm glad. Lupita, they're saving a street from being sold to Scientology. So they're protesting the the city's proposed sale of the street to Scientology. Yeah. Someone does have to hold the fort down. Okay, you guys. Thanks for coming. It's good to see all of y'all. And I will see you on Sunday. Take care.